Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Tafara, and on this channel we share about opportunities in education, scholarships and personal growth, and sometimes I post about my journey as a PhD student. So yeah, this just struck to me as I was about to go for lunch. So yeah, I was just thinking about how I am amplifying the message of scholarships, how people should apply, or things they need to put in place when, looking for scholarships. But I think it is important that in as much as I am talking about opportunities of studying abroad, or the things that you need to put in place and all of that, I think that it is important that we highlight the different things that it comes with. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is starting over. When you're moving abroad or moving somewhere away from home where you are going to be studying, or where you got a new opportunity, we barely talk about the feeling of having to start over. So I'm here just highlighting that it is okay that you're starting over, and it is okay sometimes to feel overwhelmed because you are starting over. It is what it is. Sometimes when we do things, there are some risks, and you will definitely feel like you have maybe gone a step back, but trust me, it is part of the process. I know some of you guys would have kind of established lifestyles back home. Probably you're driving, probably you were living a good life, and you decided, no, let me just go and study abroad or study away from home. There is this feeling of starting over that kind of overwhelms you. But it is okay to feel that way because you're probably starting over, and when you come here, you're probably seeing that if I was home, I could be enjoying this luxury, and the luxury of having friends and family around you. You'll be starting over on all levels, relationships and other things. So yeah, I thought that it would be, beneficial so that we talk about it, and and you anticipate the things that you might face along the way. So the feeling of starting over is one of those feelings. Okay, yeah. As I have said before, that when you're starting over, you are starting over on all levels. So one of the things that you'll be starting over is to be making friends. Remember, you'd have left your friends back home and you are new here. And trust me, when you are invited to meetups or other things, it's gonna be feeling you are going to be feeling awkward, or maybe having to feel, oh, maybe I don't have to go, because navigating friendships and trying to find new people whom you connect with doesn't seem as easy as we make it out there. So what I want to encourage you is that if there are meetups that are arranged, and if they don't go against the values that you have, please do go and make some friends. Trust me, the friends that you make when you are abroad or when you're studying abroad will understand you much more better than the friends back home. Remember, back home you are in the same environment with your friends where they could relate, maybe if you're late for something, or maybe if you take time to do something. But remember, you're now living two worlds apart. I'm not saying drop those friends, but I'm saying in this environment you definitely need some people in your corner whom you can actually count on, whom you can actually connect with, because you are miles away from home, you're not at home. So trust me, we need to prepare ourselves in terms of that, because we are going to meet new people, and we are supposed to make new connections. And trust me, those people will understand you more than the people back home, because you're now in the same environment. They understand that you're in, like, the systems that you have are probably different from the ones that you had home. And trust me, when you have the breakdowns, the feeling of not being near family and all, you need someone in your corner, you need some support system. So yeah, this is one of the things that people face when they make the decision to travel back home. But do not let that hinder you, or do not let that scare you from exploring the different options of studying away from home. So yeah, that is also one thing that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to put in perspective when it comes to, studying abroad. So number 3, then there is something called the home shift. Before you know it, you will find yourself referring yourself as someone who has 2 homes. So probably when you're making conversations, you're like, back home, and you have to specify back home in Zimbabwe or back home like where you're staying. So that's one of the things, the home shift. You would have to call the place that you're staying right now home. At the same time, the place that you grew up in is also home, and it is okay to embrace that. Sometimes it messes up with our minds and we start thinking, oh no, maybe I'm betraying myself or something. It is normal, and sometimes before you know it, your habits kind of start to shift unknowingly, not in a bad way, but unknowingly, because you now have a second home where you're going to probably spend, maybe if it's a bachelor's, 3-4 years, if it's a master's, 2 years. And trust me, most people who come to study abroad end up settling in those areas where they are staying. So you'll find yourself having that home shift, having 2 homes. But it's okay to embrace that feeling, because that's part of the journey that you are currently, moving about. So yeah, that is also number 3 of the things that you kind of face when you move abroad. And so yeah, and then we have number 4, and number 4 is going to sound like it's going to hit so hard, because yeah, it is actually a big thing. So number 4 is the career reality. So probably you are like me, or some other people move when they have like a good career back home, or a solid career back home. But when you come here, you actually see that things are different, and you might probably feel like you're starting from zero. It's okay to feel that way, and the good thing is that you have to like acclimatize yourself to the current working environment, because trust me, working environments are actually different country by country. So you'll be definitely realizing that there are some work work things, or work environment, or work ethics that you did not know about, and that are now there. So that is one thing one has to prepare for themselves. You might have been working in executive back home, or somewhere where you had a good start, and when you come here, you might end up having to start from scratch, start from the lowest rankings, or the lowest levels. But it is okay that you go through that. It is part of the process. You will find your footing, but it is something that you have to mentally prepare yourself, because if you don't manage that, if you don't manage that very well, you might sink into depression. You might probably feel that you're not enough, and you might probably feel like this was not the best decision that I've made to be here. But it is part of the process, and those are some of the things that we face when we move away from home for studying, or maybe to start a new life. But it is what it is. You have to encourage yourself, and also be open-minded, and be someone who is willing to start from the bottom going up, because things are just different. And then the fifth thing I wanted to talk about is the language. If you can I call it lucky or not so lucky? Well, I am from an English speaking country, so I am from Zimbabwe. We speak English along with other languages that we speak, but the international language that we have is English, right? Or probably you're from Western Africa where they speak French. If you are not so lucky to move to a country that does not use English as its international language, you might have to navigate the hardships of learning the local language of where you are, and that you might be feeling like you're hitting a wall, because learning languages when you are much more older is much more harder than learning language when you are younger or when you are a kid. Because right now, remember, we have like 20 plus years of experience that we had with our languages. And when you try to learn a new language, the first thing that your brain is going to do is that it's going to want to start reasoning and overthinking. Or even a simple sentence, you overthink: should I say it, should I not? The confidence is on a different level. Unlike when you're a young child, kids, when you teach them this is a cup, they say, okay, this is a cup. They might even say it the wrong way the first time, but they say it with confidence, and they say it without worrying what other people are saying. But when you are an adult, that is a different ball game altogether. But yeah, it is something that we have to navigate, and we have to be able to willing to learn the different languages. Because once you learn the language, even the basic stuff of saying thank you, of saying excuse me, of saying can you help me, all those things makes your integration into the community much more easier. So it is one thing that I kind of want to encourage people who are probably maybe moving abroad, and the area that they are moving in is not English based or something like that, to embrace the language hardships and push on. It will help you to settle in. It is there, the problem is there. And sometimes you might feel so depressed because you can't even get a local joke, or something that is said in the language, the local language that you have. You might not be able to get that, but it is part of the process. The goal is to embrace the journey and brace yourselves to be able to learn the language. Yeah, and then the last thing. This took me a long time to find, finding your pace. You will see that when you come abroad, or when you kind of move abroad, you will meet people with different personalities, and people who carry out their things in a different way. And sometimes the first thing that you want to do is to ensure that you're moving together, or you're moving at the same pace. But one thing that I learned the hard way is to find your own pace. Because if you try to move with the paces of other people, it's going to be depressing, or it's going to be overwhelming, or it's going to be too slow. It could be anything. But the greatest thing that you can do for yourself when you move abroad is to find your own pace. What do I mean? It means that what works for person A does not work for person B, does not work for person C. As a person, as an individual, you need to be able to draw on your own routines, to draw on your own way that makes you, achieve your things at a much more comfortable pace, or at a much more pace that you are like proud of. Because if you try to adapt to other people's paces, normally it ends in tears, or it ends in you so depressed, or it ends in you always second guessing yourself. So this I learned the hard way. So no matter who you meet, if they are moving at 100 kilometers per hour and you are moving at 10 kilometers per hour, if 10 kilometers per hour is working for you and is allowing you to achieve anything that you want, or achieve the things that you have set for yourself, maybe for that year, for that month, for that day, please proceed on 10 kilometers per hour. It doesn't matter the speed that the other people are moving on. Find your own pace. So this is one thing that I had to learn the hard way, and I'm really glad that right now I'm a bit more ascertained to what I'm doing and to the pace I'm moving on. That means if I meet someone who's moving too fast, I am not moved. If I meet someone who is moving too small, I'm not moved, because the one thing that I've understood is that for me to be Tafara, for me to be able to achieve the things that I want to achieve in this foreign land, I have to move at my own pace. So this is not an excuse for you to maybe be lazy and not copying good things that are being done by people. But what I'm trying to say is that don't move on other people's paces, which might make you feel overwhelmed. Find your own comfortable pace and move with that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I know that moving abroad or living abroad can be very lonely, can be very stressful, and I just wanted to highlight this. I know that this is one part of personal growth or personal things that I really wanted to discuss with you guys, those who are looking forward to moving abroad, be it with scholarships, be it with new career opportunities. These are some of the things that we ignore, and when we come abroad we get the shock of our lives, and then we end up missing home too much, which is okay, but at some point we need to adapt. So I hope what I have highlighted in this video will help someone who is probably either planning to move abroad or who is already abroad. I'm just here to say it is normal for all the things that I've said. I have felt them, and what I've seen, that the only way was to look forward and not give up, and find ways to work around the hurdles, to work around the hardships that I faced. But it is what it is. It's part of the process. So thank you guys for watching this video. And I hope you share it with someone, and please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and engage with me in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye guys.